All right, greetings and salutations to everyone who may be watching. I am Andre Russell, and today we're going to be talking about the user agreement or terms and conditions for Priceline.com. In this, I'm going to be answering questions presented on the assignments page. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So the first question is, what is a valid contract? For starters, I want to know what exactly makes a contract um, valid legally. So I did some research prior to reading the user agreement. According to upcouncil.com, valid contracts require consideration, meaning both parties must receive some sort of benefit or promise, or an act or a promise to act must exist within a document in order to make it a binding contract or a valid contract. So in this case, yes, this is a valid contract as the benefit for the user is access to travel tools and specials, while Priceline's benefit is the business of the user. And as you'll see further into the video, I do mention that the contract is something that is on the website. Therefore, the use of the site or the use of the service makes the contract valid. So we're going to go ahead and move on to should visitors have to click to agree to our contract? To this, I would say yes, users should have to agree to the terms and conditions, especially since the document is has a mandatory arbitration clause, which we're going to get into a little bit later. Users should know what their options are in the event of dispute and are able to agree to those rules. An article written about the subject on websitepolicies.com, which will be referenced at the end of the well, it'll be referenced in the paper, stresses the importance of reading the terms and conditions for websites that we visit. Also, Priceline is justified in not having a click to agree option or a click to agree page before the actual document, because the mere use of the website is seen as the user's agreement to a set of terms and conditions. So this kind of goes back into, is this a valid contract? Yes. Should the users have an agree section? Yes, they should. In my personal opinion, I feel like it is something that should be added, but in this situation, it's not necessarily required because the use of the service is agreeing to the terms and conditions. If you have a dispute with Priceline, can you sue them? Why and why not? Um, should users have a dispute with Priceline, they are not able to sue in the traditional sense. They're not able to sue the company due to the disputes and arbitration section of the user agreement, which states that all claims must be bound in binding arbitration or in small claims court. This prevents you from pursuing a class action or similar proceeding in any form. So the traditional method of suing and having a jury and a jury of your peers and such isn't something you're allowed to do with Priceline via the user agreement. Everything has to be settled through arbitration. And lastly, what changes would I recommend? Um, I would change, I would recommend the agree option. I think that is something that should be there, considering um, the document includes mandatory arbitration. My biggest problem with that is when arbitrating with a company, and it's just, it's your issue or your dispute versus a company's, and arbitration is the only way to do it. It's possible to not really get a true valid, not bipartisan, but it's kind of tough to get a someone who is going to look at the situation from both sides. Um, the company might have access to arbitrators that you just don't know, or the person doing the arbitration could be aligned with the company prior to. So that's one thing that I would change. I think you as a user have the right to kind of see what are your options going to be should you have a dispute with the company. And I think that mandatory arbitration definitely warrants the website to have to at least put the user agreement right in the front of the website so you know what's happening, or right before you use a service. It should have that beforehand. Um, so those are my thoughts on the user agreement for Priceline.com. I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope you have a great evening. Thank you.